Listener discretion is advised.
Adam Carolla, Dr. Drew.
I'm not modeling anymore for the two of you.
Loveline.
Yeah, it's Loveline. I'm Adam Carolla. That is Dr. Drew. Phone number 1-800-LOVE-191. Fax number 310-854-4455. Dr. Drew is a board-certified physician and addiction medicine specialist. Tonight our guest is Frank Stallone. And Frank, I got to tell you, it was about 2 months ago, the Man Show, which is another fabulous show I work on. And by the way, I heard a tape today of Jesse Ventura doing his weekly radio show. Did about 10 minutes about the Man Show, and that was the best show on television. But I'll bring that in tomorrow night, so you have a good time with that.
Oh, I have to hear that. I like Jesse.
We were on a little Man Show writers retreat in Santa Barbara, sitting at some rib joint, putting down some beers, and Staying Alive came on the television. And when the big musical number came on, now remember I was singing a couple nights ago, Drew?
Oh, yeah.
You had no idea what I was talking about?
What a moment that was.
Save me, darling.
Oh, boy.
I am down, but I am far from over. Yeah, and we had the whole place going. Tony Barbier. Save me, darling.
There you go.
That has hit record written all over it. I had our writers were all singing and like pounding on the tables. Sure, we were drunk and high on barbecue ribs, but it was a good time.
Well, thank you for the compliment.
I'm hoping maybe we can do a duet before the night is over.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about what we got to plug, and then we'll talk about anything else we want to talk about. Sunday, WB, 9 o'clock, Movie Stars is the name of Frank's show. And Frank, why don't you explain it to us?
Well, the show is based on, I play myself on the show, and then there's Joey Travolta, plays himself, and Don Swayze. And it's based on, Harry Hamlin is kind of a potpourri of my brother Arnold and Bruce Willis. So he's kind of an overpaid action star, and his wife is the thespian, like a Meryl Streep, and he gets paid a lot of money. And he has a brother that went to Juilliard and is, he just has degrees at the yin-yang, but he's his gopher. Gets his coffee and stuff like that. So he commiserates with us over card games, and we're always trying to scheme how we're going to get over. But we've all, the three brothers have all had a career making movies, and he hasn't. So he commiserates with us, and we kind of pick on everybody.
Now, Don Swayze, I see you and your brother look alike. You could argue over which one he was better looking, but there's certain similarities there.
Yeah.
And Don Swayze looks too much like Patrick Swayze.
Really?
He looks like beyond. He's like Patrick Swayze ate Patrick Swayze and then had a dessert full of Patrick Swayze.
Oh,
he's like Patrick's evil twin. If you got to see Don Swayze.
Okay.
I know he must. You work with him. You don't want to get any crap from him, but you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he is Patrick Swayze plus.
Squared.
Yeah, like. You know when someone's doing a political caricature,
right,
and it's your opponent who's drawing it, and he makes every little detail that you have exaggerates it a little bit. Yeah, that is Don Swayze.
Yeah, they do.
He's like too much Patrick Swayze. It's like, what did you do with Patrick Swayze?
And a bigger version, yeah.
Yeah, it's bigger, scary Patrick, man. I mean, I haven't seen his mom or his dad, but they must just be Swayze.
I think out of all the kids, I think Don and Patrick look probably the most
a bunch of kids
alike. Yeah, I think they got quite a few kids in the family.
Don Swayze's super Swayze.
Yeah, good guy, funny guy too.
He is, and so it's you, it's Don, and
Joey Travolta.
Joey Travolta. Now I'm not sure what I'm trying to think what Joey Travolta looks like.
Now he's all white. His hair's all gray now, and he's kind of thinning, losing his hair a little bit, which John is now also. But when they were younger. Actually, Joey, when they were younger, when they all had the thick black Saturday Night Fever hair, Joey was probably a little more rugged looking. Looks like a Travolta, but a little more of the rugged John.
Less pretty boy.
Yeah.
Then how you talk to your brother? Do you guys fight?
Oh, we fight all the time.
I never hear anything. I'd imagine you do. But is he your older brother?
Yeah, he's older. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How many in your family?
Kids. How many kids? 6.
6 children.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we got a few kids. But, my brother and I have had some fights. Actually, when he was training for Rocky III, I had moved out here from New Jersey. And like I told Adam, I'd had some fights. And we were in the gym.
Boxing fights.
Yeah, we were in the gym, and he had this new headgear, like this kind of diver Dan type thing, covers your face. And we were just sparring, and I tried this old-time one like Joe Louis with no padding on my face, and we were just moving around. All of a sudden, boom. He hits me out of left field. And my nose goes like, and I figured, oh, well, he was just messing around. Next time, boom, hits me again. And then I went after him. So I go after him. I hit him with the left hook. And they're filming this. Like, and it turns into a war. Now it's like we're kicking, punching. I mean, smashing our heads into turnbuckle like two brothers would fight. So I was thrown out of the gym. I was banned from the lot. I was not allowed in the gym anymore. He said I cheap shotted him. We're showing the playback. You can clearly see that I was totally cheap shotted.
I've tried a few different headgears myself, and there's a sort of catch-22 of headgear, which is the more junk you put in front of your face, the more junk gets hit, and the shock just basically transfers to your head. And so you want it. So you put, you find one that has a big crossbar in front of your mouth. Well, the guy whacks the crossbar,
the bar
and
goes
that
right in your face.
That goes in your face, or it just jolts your head. As a matter of fact, I've heard that they've done studies that the headgear does not really do all that much. It's mostly for cuts.
That's what it was made for. It's cuts. Actually, it gives you a false sense of security because you've got 3 inches coming out from your head, so you're actually catching.
Yeah, you got stuff that you might be able to slip that's catching onto your head now, and sort of you still get rattled. You just don't get cut.
That's why in the old days, in the 20s and the teens, you'd see these guys, their faces weren't marked up, but they had ears like cab doors, like big cauliflower ears, because they were slipping punches.
Right.
And the thing is, a lot of people think because you put a headgear on, like Adam was just saying, that it does not take away the shock, because you get knocked out real quick with headgear on.
And it's just sort of more to catch, too.
For sure.
So both you guys have dementia in your future? Is that what?
Well, I have had, I don't know about you, Adam, but I remember when I was training a lot in the old days, in the 70s, and some days you'd have some wars in the gym. There would be times when you'd get like, drive the wrong way home, and you seem to get, and sometimes when you're boxing a lot, and you're real mellow a lot of the times. You ever find you were like kind of just like, like you don't want to fight anybody. You're just kind of almost like electroshock treatment.
There's some data now that shows that concussion. They believe that this is not factualized yet, but that the injury caused by concussion may cause progressive injury in older age.
Oh, yeah.
Dementia. But, I mean, in other words, they're correlating head injury in adolescence with dementia when you're 60s and 70s.
Oh, yeah. Well, Sugar Ray Robinson, who was I consider probably the greatest fighter that ever lived, when I saw him, he was like 68 years old. Now, he was one of the greats of all time. And he was like, hey, how are you? And, they're all a little off. A little, not much, but a little. The next year, he was like in a wheelchair, just like drooling. Like Joe Louis, it just seems at a certain point, Floyd Patterson now doesn't even know who he is. It just catches when you get older.
Jerry Corey.
Jerry.
Got it in a bad way.
Oh, is he out?
He died.
He died.
Of dementia?
It's complications from a lot of boxing. Jerry Corey really had a lot more will than skill, and therefore, and a dad who was sort of beating on him as well. And so he, think about it. You're forced into fighting. You don't have the skills. You don't have the fluidity. You're not able to slip punches. You don't have that kind of defense. You can't get on your bike and skate like a guy like Ali or guys that had Sugar Ray Leonard or Sugar Ray Robinson. So it's just an over-domineering dad, and you go in there and you're taking
lower
a
your
beating.
head and just take a beating.
I mean, Jerry Corey took a savage beating every
one
fight.
thing he had a great left hook, and he could punch good. But again, he was 5'10" and a half, and that was the era he was fighting these big monsters.
Yeah,
he was
he just got 190 pounds or something.
Well, Ali, Frank was saying that they're trying to make it seem Ali has Parkinson's disease, which is it's all boxing.
I mean, look, I was at many of his fights, and later on in his career, those Frazier fights and those Norton fights and those Shaver. He told me after the Shavers fight, after the second round, he did not remember where he was, and that was a 12-round fight. So later on, when his legs started going, he took tremendous head shots.
Oh, yeah.
But he just didn't get beat up in the face. But remember, he always took shots on the back of the head and the side.
Yeah. Ernie Shavers was a huge puncher.
Oh, God.
Sarah?
Yeah?
You're 15.
Mm-hmm.
What's up?
My
Ernie Shavers, by the way, not a Jewish name.
Huh?
Turns out. Go ahead, Sarah.
My boyfriend is 20 years old.
Fantastic.
And I was just wondering if, there's anything wrong with him because he's dating me and I'm so young.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. We don't know what it is, but
Next
there's something.
call.
Yeah, something's up with him.
He's flawed in some way.
All right.
All right. Do you suspect that yourself?
Well, before he dated, other young girls, too, and I thought, maybe there was something wrong with me because I was dating someone so much older than I was.
It's
Where's your parents? Your
my
mom?
mom,
Yeah.
she's in her room.
I didn't even ask where Dad is anymore. It's a moot point.
Yeah, Dad's lives in the same town.
Right. If you're lucky.
Yeah. Look, it's pretty common. Well, I don't want to use the word like normal, but most young women are attracted to older males for whatever that reason is. The problem is, the catch-22 is that any male that reciprocates that is disturbed and is objectifying you and abusing you. Really,
Right.
it's not normal.
Don't get pregnant. Don't have sex with him.
It's like the 15 to 20 thing is weird. Now, if she was like 18 and he was 20, it just seems that it's
very
almost
different.
that kind of adolescent. He's more of like, could be in the army or
Hey,
something.
how
you know,
about Sarah, the 15-year-old, with a 10-year-old?
Well, if he hadn't...
It's a big 5 years.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah.
Don't get
5
weird,
years.
Drew. If he hadn't gone AWOL, he'd probably still be in the
Now,
army.
my father's 80 and his wife is 34.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a Stallone, though.
He's
That's
a
all right.
Stallone, it's different. And he has a 3-year-old son. Which
Holy Christ. He sired a kid at 77,
yeah,
right? Or 76.
77.
And so when he was 76, you saying his wife was 26?
But he'd been with her 15 years.
When, hold on.
So he's older than...
Since she was 11?
Oh, yeah, her father could be his son.
No, wait a minute.
Oh,
wait
yeah,
a minute.
man.
Really, do the math. Your father's...
My father's born in 1919.
Okay, so your father's 81
80.
years old. And
His wife is 47 years younger than him.
47. Okay. and she had... How old... Does he have a son from that?
Yeah.
3-year-old.
A 3-year-old. Oh, okay. So...
My brother, which that's pretty scary.
She's 33.
Right. Okay. Now I got... Oh, my Christ.
Yeah.
Oh, that's your brother.
And he's my brother. I mean, the scary thing is when I go out with my father, they say, "Hey, Grandpa, who's that?" That's my son. You know.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't know if it's good genetics or just he was very upset when she got pregnant. I said, well, he knew he could do it, but he didn't think, anything would happen. I said, well, it happens that way, Dad.
What? Yeah. Well, I guess, if your dad lives long enough, you have to sit down and explain the birds and the bees to him eventually,
Well,
like a second
comes
time
all
around.
around.
Yeah, it
Comes all
comes
around.
full circle.
Dementia. Okay.
Claudia.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Drew, how long is that sperm good for? I mean, is that sperm good? 75, 80? I mean,
If you keep it in the right kind of container, yeah.
is it, your dad is a Tupperware for a nutsack.
Right. That's right.
Vacuum sealed.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, but-
it's got the food saver
And
wrapped in his gonads.
he burps his sack before he goes to bed at night. But
Yeah.
hold on a second, Claudia. Seriously, Drew, is it?
Yes.
I mean, if a 95-year-old guy,
It's possible. Not all 95-year-olds could produce that way.
but if the plumbing is working and something's coming out of the spigot,
No, it's not necessarily with the right kind, right motility or capacity in the sperm, or even the right number. But sometimes there is.
so it decreases as one gets older.
Oh, yeah. Have you
Usually.
noticed that yet?
Unless you're Stallone. No, you know why? I start closing my eyes. I don't want to see what's coming out. Claudia?
Yes.
All right, so you're 14. What's going on?
Okay. Okay, all I have to ask is for Adam not to dog me out because I know he dogs out all the young people on here. He all calls us stupid, so.
All right.
My problem is that I'm confused and I think I may be bisexual.
Oh, man.
How
I
come?
used to.
How come?
And and the thing is that sometimes, I think of him sexually.
Women.
And other times I don't. I
Women.
think it could be just me,
Yeah.
admiring them.
How about that?
Them
just
being women, right?
Look,
Yeah.
this is all age-appropriate kinds of feelings. Everybody gets to go through some of this.
Okay.
And as you grow through this transition time, you'll kind of figure out what you're up to. Maybe you will be confused. Maybe you will be bisexual. Maybe you'll be gay. But right now, just sit tight and realize that at your age, intimate feelings very often get converted into sexual feelings.
Okay.
Anything happen to you growing up? Any molestation or anything?
Yeah, it sort of did.
Okay,
Oh.
well, I take back what I just said.
There you go. That's what's going on.
Then you're going to have confusion. That's sort of typical of that history.
Okay, because, well, see, he was like, 6, 7 years older than me.
Of course.
How old were you?
Oh, I was probably like maybe 6 at the time.
Oh,
And
boy.
he was about 7 years older than
Awful.
Who was this guy?
me. Just some guy in the family.
Oh, I see.
Just a guy you've never met before?
In the family?
No, well, like cousins.
Cousin. Okay. And have you ever got any help for this? Talked to anyone about it?
No, nobody knows.
That's what you need to do, Claudia. If you really want to avoid being very confused as you go through adolescence.
I mean,
Get a look at it.
yeah, you're not acting out now, are you, Claudia?
No.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're 14.
Okay.
don't start acting out. Just work it out, and then you don't have to act it out.
Well, I've come very close, but not exactly yet.
Good.
Just hang back.
Yeah, but the point is you got to do something about this. Otherwise, you won't be able to hang back in another 6 months or a year.
Right.
Well, it's okay. Well, the thing that happened to me, it's sort of hard for me to talk about because of I have a very religious family.
Claudia, you just talked to us about it. No problem. You need to go to another professional who can actually treat you about this.
Because I'm like a Romanian gypsy.
Claudia, you seem to have no problem discussing it with us.
Right.
So
I can discuss with friends.
Yeah.
But,
well, you got to discuss it with a
professional.
I've never heard someone discuss something they can't discuss so much.
Yeah.
Hey,
you got to
Claudia?
discuss it with a caretaker.
Like a million people are listening to
Right.
discuss.
It's different with family because he's known to me as a brother.
Claudia, you don't have to discuss it with your family.
Jesus
Talk
Christ.
about it with a healthcare professional, okay?
Okay.
Hey,
Not with your family.
You're Romanian gypsy?
Yes, I am.
And they don't, you go.
No, I don't steal or do anything like that.
No, I know. But what do you think about that song, that Cher song, where she talks
Oh,
about
yeah,
the
I've heard
tramps
that a
and the
million
thieves?
times. All my friends
That
heard
must
that.
be, you must be offended. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go, Claudia.
So, but do you think that...
No, listen, we're done talking to you.
I do.
You have to talk
Who was
to
that?
her. That's her friend, her gypsy friend, on the other side with the
Enjoy.
scarf in her hair and the crystal ball. All right. Hey, people don't realize the gypsies got a pretty rough shot in World War II, too.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Like 2 million shot.
Yeah, I mean, gypsies, it's weird.
Well, not just the gypsies,
you hear
but
about the Jews
Armenian,
complaining, I got an ass full of Jews, but the gypsies, boy, they really got an ass
And the
beating, too.
The Armenian got...
Yeah.
I think that was in the First World War, even the Armenian.
The
Kurds.
gypsies have always been crapped on. But listen, you roll into town in a wagon with a scarf tied on your head. You're looking. You got an earring and you got a crystal ball, and of course you're going to be made fun of
By the Nazis.
Yeah, well, listen. There's this great. I think it's a Japanese proverb, which is the nail that sticks up gets pounded down. Basically, is how it goes. And listen, you stick up, you get smacked. That's it. Blend in, everyone. That's my
as long as
message
it's
to you.
a Japanese proverb, then it's okay.
Well, here's the thing about the Japanese. We can't figure out whether they're lunatics or geniuses. Half the time we're quoting them, and we're all into this feng shui and all this lifestyle. The other half the time we're making fun of them for World War II and eating rhino horn, the jury's out on the Japanese.
Why are the Orientals so much into finding all these strange ways for aphrodisiac? Do they have a problem?
Small penis.
Is that what it is?
Small penis, and it's what you call compensation.
I mean,
Clearly
everything. I mean,
compensation.
I don't know what it is now. Next thing they'll be eating wallpaper to get erection. I don't know. It's rhino horn. It's dolphin fin.
Yeah, listen, it's why little dogs bark more. They're making up for it. Come on, it's true.
Let's go on to calls, please. This is
Carrie. You're 17.
Hi.
Listen, we had that prostitute who worked at the brothel for 3 months,
Yes,
who'd
yes.
been with thousands of guys,
Yes.
call up, and I said to her flat out, which culture has the smallest penis? She didn't even bat an eye. She went Asian.
Yes. And then she said, who is the worst?
Now then I said, who's the smelliest culture? She went Middle Eastern. So far, I had my pad. I was like, yep, check. I was just squaring my answers off. Then who was the worst lovers? Young American guys,
Caucasians,
right?
yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That broke my
Now,
heart.
who are the best? The
Guineas.
Italians.
The Italians.
Okay.
Paisan, come on, give me a high five.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Carrie? No, she didn't say.
80-year-old,
afraid to ask that
3-year-old
question.
son.
80-year-old paisans.
Whoa.
What's going on, Carrie?
Okay, my best friend's boyfriend basically told me that he wanted to go out with me instead of her.
Best friend's boy. Well, stay away from that guy. He's an idiot.
I know, but he keeps calling my house now.
Well, you like
Carrie, you like him.
Right?
No, not at all.
Then why do you spend 2 seconds with this idiot? And why don't you tell your girlfriend immediately what he's up
I
to?
did tell her, and now she's going to stay with him and take him to prom. And I'm, like, so creeped out because I don't even want him there.
Oh, what do you care? Do you
Yeah,
have a
it's
date
her.
for the prom?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, it's her disaster. She's living with that nutball.
Who's your date?
Oh, I'm going with a friend of mine.
Well, that doesn't sound great.
Oh, thanks.
Well, you're going with a friend. You should be going with a date, right?
Well, I don't know.
Okay. Well, you sure you don't like this guy at all?
Yeah, I'm positive. He's, like, a big loser.
Okay. Well, fine then.
But it's like my friend, like, I don't know. It seems to me like she's kind of, like, mad at me.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that can happen. But listen, you were straight up with her. You have no reason to be ashamed.
And I would like, what do I do if he keeps calling me?
Listen, you gotta just hang up. Just
Do
get
not
off the
take
phone.
his calls. He will stop. We guarantee it.
Okay.
Only if you have a part of you that kind of is intrigued or flattered by this will this continue.
Not at all.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
Put an
Carrie.
end.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah.
Sheesh.
It's amazing that people will just, they can't make a decision. They can't hang up.
No.
You know, their boyfriends treat them bad, and it must be self-loathing. There are some people that just must hate themselves.
It's insecurity, and it's stuff that comes with younger age. I mean, think about how you were at that age.
I mean, I'm talking about adults. I mean, when you see adults,
it's with it's who you think of yourself in relation to other people.
Yeah.
And if you're the person who is a victim or who is sort of taken advantage of all the time and can't assert oneself, well, that's who you are. That's it. You can't magically change that.
And some people relate that to being cruel. Just said, listen, I don't want to hear it.
Well, listen, here's how it works. You're not doing them a favor either. I was thinking about it. I have people that call me and have called me 5 times, and I owe them a call. And I thought about it today, and I was going to call one of them back. It's like, geez, that guy's called me 5. Actually, it was my dad. No. It was just some guy, and I thought I'm going to call him back. And then I thought, well, if I call him back, what am I going to say? We're going to make some date to go out to lunch 3 weeks from now that I don't want to go, and that day I'm going to cancel it.
Yeah.
And then I thought to myself, why am I even calling him back if I'm just going to blow smoke up his ass, and I don't want to go anyway? And furthermore, what kind of favor am I doing for him?
Yeah.
I'm telling him we're going to go out to lunch in 2 weeks, and I'm going to cancel the day before and piss him off?
Exactly.
Why bother? Just don't call. I'm not calling back.
I don't think this is the point we were making. The point we were making is
That was my point.
Should be honest.
It's my show, Drew. I got to make my point. This is cathartic for me. Understand?
Oh,
All right. Well, yeah, be honest with people, or at least be honest with them in your actions. You don't have to tell everyone off. You can give them the impression, the right impression, which is you don't want to talk to them. You don't want to be around them. You don't have to square everyone off in the face and confront them, Drew.
Yeah.
Don't return their call. When they call you, tell them you're busy or in the middle of something. Get off the phone. Give them enough negative reinforcement. You don't have to have the confrontation. They'll stop calling. Thank you, Drew. Shut up over there and put that computer away. See, you have no difficulty with. All right. Frank Stallone is our guest tonight. Movie Stars is the name of the show. WB, Sunday nights, 9 o'clock. We're going to take ourselves a little break. When we come back, we'll speak to Holly, who's 17, obsessed with making herself throw up. We'll figure out how to get her to stop that after this. Bag and put it in it.
That's great.
Oh, yeah.
I love the leather bag. I like the sound of it.
Yeah.
Makes you sound like you hit harder than you do.
Yeah. Frank Stallone is here. We're just talking a little bag and boxing. His show is Movie Stars. That is Sunday, WB, 9 o'clock. He's also got a CD. He can give us the name of that CD.
Yeah, it's called Full Circle. It's my newest one. And like every other artist, I have my own label now because when they merged all the acts, most of them lost their record deal, so everyone's doing it on their own now. So it can be gotten on Amazon.com. And I think it's the best album I've ever done. I'm really, really happy with it.
You've done quite a few, haven't you?
Yeah, I have.
How many?
7.
Yeah, it's and a lot of soundtrack stuff. So we're going to sing Save Me Darling.
Far From Over.
Yeah,
Save
me darling.
Go, baby.
I am down, but I am
Go, baby.
far from over.
Where were you when I needed you, Adam? Where were you in 83, 84?
Was that 84?
Yeah, you know what happened? The funny thing was, I went up to the office, and I just found out that my brother was directing Saturday Night Fever, the sequel. Now, you got to understand, the first album, Saturday Night Fever, sold 52 million albums, 26 million double albums. So everybody in the world wants to be on this thing. Of course, look, I have 2 cents. I just got dropped off my record. I didn't have any money. I had no career happening at that point. He said, hey, why don't you write a few songs? I said, okay, right. The Bee Gees were there. Everyone was there. So what happened was I just went, it was just a conscious, a flow. And all of a sudden I started writing, going in the studio, and all of a sudden I bring it up to the Paramount, like I had like a Rustmobile in those days, and he listened to it and goes, hey, Jesus Christ. Because the Bee Gees stuff, and I think they're the greatest writers, but what happened, it hadn't changed since Saturday Night Fever.
Same.
It was very clean, and they wanted more of an earthy, urban thing. I think out of desperation, everything came out, and all of a sudden, he told John, he goes, hey, listen to stuff, and he didn't tell him who it was. And I ended up with 13 songs in the movie. And
And-
they sang. It was really weird. It was just a weird thing.
What condition was it in when you handed it to him, though? It wasn't finished.
Oh, well, you know
It
what
was like
happened?
a demo, right?
No, they were demos, but a lot of them were used in the movies because I went in the studio with really great players, and it just had a lot of heart and soul in it. And the thing is, everybody and their mother wanted to be on the soundtrack. Hall & Oates, Billy Joel, and I mean, I was like basically the most unknown. But the thing was, Travolta heard it and he said, "That's what I want." It's like maybe I was taking over the spirit of Tony Manero. I don't know what the hell it was, but the thing was, of course, the Bee Gees were not happy with me. I said, "Well, come on, you guys got $300 million. What do you want? I'm driving a 72 Datsun at that point." And the thing was, they got so mad that they put their songs on one side of the album and my songs were on the other side.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I bumped into them once, and I said, I was always big fans of theirs. And they were like, "Raw, very British. Yeah, it's great. Brilliant. Oh, piss off." Right.
I was looking at the album for Staying Alive today because I was walking around the Mancho
It's the
office.
worst album cover.
Singing it the whole time. Well, a big picture of Travolta's head on there.
No, with all those lights.
Yeah. I was singing, and someone went and got it for me and gave it to me. I was supposed to bring it in, but I forgot. But here's the point. I was looking at the back. I was looking at the pictures of the three Bee Gee brothers, and I thought to myself, and I was saying to somebody at the office, "This is amazing. You have one guy who's an exceptionally good-looking,
Barry,
and then you have the other two, which are exceptionally homely.
and one's bald.
Yeah,
and the other's not.
But how
And
often?
they're twins. You know that.
Yeah, but
Who's twins?
Maurice and
And Robin are twins.
the point is you have three. How often do you have three brothers? One of them is exceptionally good looking, and the other two
tall.
are exceptionally unattractive. Like novelty funny looking, novelty good looking. You know,
Yeah.
it's kind of weird. I mean,
and
there's
the one's real tall, and the other ones are short. And
it's like where'd that chasm come from? I mean, your brother and you, there's some differences, but basically you can see you're cut out of the same cloth.
come from the same thing. My dad,
Right?
80-year-old guy.
Dad's still knocking them out.
Three-year-old looks like these guys.
Yeah, 3-year-old. It's scary. It's like Rocky 20. He's coming out. Dante Stallone.
Holly,
Hello?
you're 17. What's up?
Yeah, I can't stop making myself throw up, and I don't know what to
You need to get treatment.
How long you been doing this?
do. A couple months now.
You understand that what you're doing has about a 1 out of 5 chance of killing you.
Does it?
Yeah.
Wow. No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So you really need to take this very seriously and talk to a doctor about it, because it's like addiction. It's not something you can usually willfully stop. You need help with this.
You have overbearing mother?
No.
Did she take you to ballet class when you were a kid?
No.
No, this is more the total chaos stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Holly,
Yeah?
you going through some troubles at home?
No, everything's fine.
Oh,
Do you
okay.
cut on yourself, or have you ever?
No.
Okay.
No. All right. Why are you doing it then?
To lose weight.
I see. Are you overweight?
I know I'm not, but I feel I am.
Yeah.
I see.
You're in.
What are you weighing?
130.
You meet all criteria for eating disorder.
All right.
And before you rot your teeth and start bleeding from your esophagus or get a
I
cardiac...
floss and brush before and after a million times a day because I don't want to
Doesn't matter. The acid takes the enamel right off your teeth.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and also you can tear your esophagus and bleed to death, and you'll develop severe heart problems and bone problems, and you'll develop premature failure of the ovaries and fertility problems and all the good stuff that goes along with this.
I called the dentist to make an appointment today, by the way. Me calling the dentist, by the way, is like a fugitive turning himself into the authorities. It's really the same thing, you know. I'm usually just on the lam, and my dentist has to come after me. Usually sends federal marshals over the house with floss and stuff. You know, they really track me down, make me feel guilty. I get the card with the giant toothbrush on it with the top hat and bow tie.
Yeah.
And I've yelled to Drew a million times. Yeah. Why is novelty in dentistry such a bizarre marriage? You know what I mean? Dentists act like every goddamn patient they have is 6.5. You know, I mean, I'm 35 years old. I get Mr. Toothbrush coming over to the house.
Mr.
You know?
Tooth Decay knocks me. But the thing is, I was talking to my dentist, that dentists have a high rate of suicide and alcoholism, because the thing is, everyone hates them. And the thing is, and I asked him about that, he said, well, Frank, just remember the primitive era of dentistry, like when doctors were considered sawbones. I mean, a guy putting his knee on your chest and yanking your teeth out with a pair of horse pliers.
That's still what's happening.
Yeah.
That's way.
I mean,
what
can you imagine
picture
that?
in my mind. No, I
Can
cannot.
you imagine those days, like, and say it's almost like in the Civil War when they had to amputate your leg on, they just tell you to bite on a belt and get you drunk and saw your leg off. It's like 6 guys standing on you.
I can't imagine. I can't. But I'll tell you why people hate dentists in dentistry, and why they should, rightfully so, hate these people. Every time I go to the dentist office, I got my mouth wide open. They're scraping it. They're rubbing on it. And then they take water and they spray it with that hard sprayer thing on my teeth. And it's amazingly painful each time because the water's cold. It's freezing cold water that they're spraying on my teeth.
And air.
And then they spray it with air. And I go, listen, it's like a goddamn Coors commercial where you get this water. I don't know where you're pumping it in from.
Yeah.
But the water's freezing.
It is.
And then you spray it with the air. It's killing my teeth. I got an invention. How about a little warmer, a little heater? You plug it in and
Because
warms the
your gums,
water.
after they do a scraping on your teeth, your gums are just like if any air. How about when they drill your teeth and all of a sudden they go, how about a little air?
Oh, no. Yeah. But I said to them, though,
Expose nerve.
put a heater in. And they go, yeah, somebody thought of that. And I'm like, that's great. And they're like, yeah, we're thinking about getting one. I'm like, feel free to go ahead and do that. Just get the goddamn water heater and make it easy on people. Drew, I'm not going to get going, but the technology, I'm telling you, moccasin making has come further. From a technological standpoint in the last 50 years in dentistry, there's been bigger breakthroughs. And the biggest
shoes.
breakthrough being the pina colada scrub that they love. I always love that. You want the mint, you want the cherry, or the new pina colada? I'm always like, listen, why pina colada? And like, it tastes good. I'm like, look, steak and liver and onions taste good.
Yeah.
What am I going to do? Close my eyes and think I'm on a tropical island somewhere? This is pumice. You're rubbing my teeth.
Do you remember in the old days when you were a
Pina
kid, they used to put
colada.
a piece of cotton on the drill so it looked like a rabbit was running as they were like, you're 6 years old and they were like taking your fillings out.
Really?
Well,
That's
yeah,
good.
because the old ones had like it was like a wire that
Cables,
went
yeah.
cables, and the guy goes, "Look at the rabbit."
Oh, it's like you're at
Just
the
going-
like you're at the dog track.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there were elaborate
the
series of belts. Yeah.
And the needle was like huge in those days, and he just used to go. This one guy, the first time I did my teeth, was a vet.
Oh, boy.
And then he became a dentist. I said, "What look, I orangutan?" He's like sticking this thing through my
just
mouth.
got done working on a cow.
Jessica, 25. Yes.
Yeah. Hi, guys. Thanks.
Hey,
Me and Frank could do an hour and a half on dentistry.
He just got done working on a yak.
What's going on there?
Well, basically, my question is, I have just recently started attending a few AA meetings. I don't know for sure if I'm an alcoholic per se or what.
is there one of your parents alcoholic?
No, not that I'm aware of. I don't believe so, not unless they've kicked it a long time ago, and
How about the grandparents or aunts or uncles?
not that I know of.
What's your ethnic background?
I'm Caucasian.
Where are your ancestors from?
50% German, French, French Canadian, and Norwegian.
Okay. All right. So what's your question?
Nah, not big boozers, any of those.
No, not specifically.
Okay,
No.
no.
I mean, you can get it, but not necessarily.
Yeah. I've always, I don't know, like I said, I've always had kind of a problem with overdoing it with alcohol. In the last few years or so, I've noticed an overwhelmingly percentage of the time that I drink, I black out.
Oh, that's
yeah, I mean, like regularly. So
What have you done when you blacked out?
drive home, just stupid things. You wake up, and not necessarily one-night stands or anything, but things that you wake up and get sober and you just think, wow, that was really stupid, and I've really got to watch that.
All right, so what's your question?
My question is basically, I'm also starting to see a psychologist for the first time. I've kind of dealt with
Great.
over the past years depression, but nothing clinical, nothing I've ever seen a psychologist for.
What's your question, Jessica?
Basically, if I get treated for the depression and long term, I know I'm not going to be able to do alcohol socially again. I've smoked pot socially for the past probably 12 years, and socially never really had a problem with it. Can do it and whatever,
Well,
but I've noticed that.
I don't know if you're an alcoholic or not. So you clearly have issues with alcohol, but you don't really meet my criteria for alcoholism sort of at first brush. So you may not be alcoholic. If you are not, obviously it's not a great idea to be smoking pot if you're prone to depression. But you also do not fit the sort of syndrome of marijuana addiction. If you're an alcoholic and you're trying to maintain an honest program of recovery, you should not be using any substances, obviously, because that behavior and putting substances in your system in order to feel better is the behavior that you're trying to treat. If, on the other hand, you have some dynamic issues, some character issues, some affect issues like depression, and those are being adequately managed in depression, rely on your therapist to sort of give you some guidance.
All right, talk to them. I found her annoying.
I think she may be like a personality disorder.
Yeah.
Sometimes people with personality disorders, first she gave you that feeling.
Yes.
Secondly, people with those disorders will use substances substantially without being addicted necessarily.
Well, also, too, it's a way of trying to approach your personality disorder through a conventional method, in a way.
Yeah,
it's like
legitimizing it.
Yeah, I have and like you say this, you have a personality disorder that's looked upon askant. But if you're attending AA meetings, you're helping yourself.
Yeah.
And I didn't get the feeling she belonged in AA either, but I had the feeling she belonged somewhere.
Yes.
It's got an A on the end of it. I'm not sure what the PA, personality disorder. All right, let's now, Drew, come on. Who do you want to talk to here?
Jonathan's coming back.
I like the neighbor with the racist neighbor. Ashley?
Hey, yeah.
You're 16?
Yeah.
You're in love with your racist neighbor?
Yeah, that's about the gist of it.
Yeah. How old is he?
He's 16 or 17, I don't know.
15 or 17?
16 or 17.
16 or 17. How do you know he's a racist?
Because, well, he tries to impress me, and he'll say stuff like Jewish or nigger, or, I mean, he's outright racist.
That's impressing you?
No, it's not. He thinks...
Oh, I see. He thinks he's impressing you. Okay.
He uses me, like, well, he wants to be friends with me, but only when he doesn't have any other friends.
Uh-huh.
And,
well, he's just a dick.
Hey, Ashley?
Yeah.
You hang on to this catch with both hands, and don't let him get away.
well,
Sounds like a real winner.
News, but I want to, like, I guess I want to change him.
Oh, okay. Fantastic.
And I know you can't do that. I listen to you.
Hold on, Ashley. Hold on.
We got more to talk about.
Hold on a second. This is my favorite component of a female. Men aren't interested in changing anything. They don't want to change their underpants. Forget about a woman. Yeah. Women, that get him, they can change him. I can fix him. All right, and then I won't be attracted to him sexually if I do ever fix him. Yeah. We're going to take a little break. Frank Stallone is our guest tonight. We'll get back with Ashley, the racist loving neighbor, after this. Hey, it's Loveline. I'm Adam Carolla. That is Dr. Drew over there. The Goo Goo Dolls will be in here on Wednesday. Save Ferris will be in here on Thursday. Frank Stallone is in here tonight. He's plugging a couple of things. One is Movie Stars, WB, Sunday, 9 o'clock. And also Full Circle, which is his CD, which you can find on Amazon.com. Right, Frank?
That's it.
Save me, darling.
There you go, baby. That's the opening cut of Full Circle. It's called The Basement Tapes.
Yeah. You know, my singing isn't great, but a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of energy.
Soul.
That's what the kids respond to, the soul.
You sing better than my brother. All you got to do is listen to Paradise Alley. Oh, man. Sounds like they're electrocuting a,
big
orangutan or something. Oh, it's horrible. And they flew me out here to sing the title. And all of a sudden, when I got out here, I had no money. This was in 1977. And they said, well, we've decided that, it'd be good for Sly to sing the title of his movie. And I said, have you heard him sing yet? They go, no, we'll work. We have a coach. I said, oh, Christ.
Maybe him and Travolta got together and talked each other into a singing career somehow, because Travolta's got a song or two out.
I swear to God, yeah. I'm gonna let him in.
That's right.
Let him in. Well, in Staying Alive, I had this song with Cynthia Rhodes, and all of a sudden they pulled it out for me, and they said, hey, I think we're going to let John sing it. I said, not again. It cannot happen twice in a career. And all of a sudden, finally, the uppers heard John sing. They go, you know what, John? Don't sing. Just act.
Ashley?
Yeah.
You're 16 years old.
Mm-hmm.
What's up?
Okay, I'm in love with my neighbor.
Oh, that's right. The racist.
The bigot, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Wait, I have something else to say.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Adam?
Mm-hmm.
You went to Walter Reed, right?
That's right.
Okay, I went to Walter Reed for like 2 years. Did you ever have Miss Sudman?
No, I did not.
Okay, never mind then.
All right.
Okay, and if there's a perfect person to bet on, that is me.
What happened to you?
I'm challenging you two to figure it out.
Well, listen, betting is no fun when we're challenged to bet. We have to do it on our own.
It has
to be organic.
Right.
So what happened in your past?
I just really want you guys to guess. Okay.
You were molested by Klansmen.
Oh, God, yeah. No. My dad left, and now I'm living with a racist. Who's my stepfather.
Your stepfather.
Yeah.
All right. And what's up with your mom?
She kind of just gives in to what everyone says.
By the way, we wouldn't have predicted this. You live with and hate a racist. We'd think you'd date a black guy.
Yeah, usually you go against the wishes of your parent when you're mad at your parent, but this is your step-parent, which is
I've
different.
completely given up. Like, we don't talk to each other ever. There's no words spoken.
You and your stepdad.
Yeah, I'm moving out in the next few months.
Okay, well, listen. All right, you seem to have a pretty good handle on what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you could only stop yourself from doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So, feel free to stop yourself. You understand what the dynamic is. You listen to this show. You've heard it all before.
Mm-hmm.
You're telling us about it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do it. This guy's an idiot.
I mean, do you think it's worth it to try and,
No.
talk to him about it?
Yeah, well, if you want to as a friend, but not as a way of somebody that's going to be romantically involved and change him.
Yeah.
Well, I've given up on that.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, listen. Guys fix up cars and women fix up guys.
Mm-hmm.
So, it really shop for a guy like you'd shop for a car. You don't want a project. You want something you can drive right away. Drive it off the lot. All right.
All right. Thanks.
All right. See, Ashley's an example of somebody who has been through a lot. Should by all rights go completely south, but has a little spark, has a little intelligence, has a little IQ and a little flair, and is probably going to end up salvaging a decent life for herself.
Some constitutional sort of resiliency.
Right, that even though she had kind of a tough shake in life, is able to pull herself up by her own pump straps. I don't think women wear boots. Jonathan?
Yeah?
Certainly not Ashley.
You're 16? What's up?
Whenever I need help because whenever I need to know what to do because whenever my penis is erect, it leans to the left and it also curves. And I want to know.
Leans and curves.
It leans and curves, really?
Yeah.
A leaning tower of penis, I guess.
What? Now, leaning would to me suggest that it sort of fell over at the base. And curve. I mean, how do you draw the distinction between leaning and curving?
Where it attaches to the body, it's an angle, and it curves.
True. Didn't I just say leaning to me would mean it fell over at the base?
Yeah, but you said the way you said it sounded like it fell down at the base.
No, I mean it fell the direction it's going from the base, and then it curved.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yeah.
So it's like you took an Indian bow, like a bow and arrow bow, and you planted it in the ground and then leaned it.
Yeah.
Is that what it's like?
Exactly.
How far over are we talking about?
Is it going in your own anus?
No.
No. Okay, good.
Just a little bit. It will kind of medium. And I need to know. I want to know what to do with the.
Well, you can take some vitamin E. Think about
vitamin E.
Yeah, about 800 units a day sometimes help correct this kind of thing.
And do you think I should consult
Not unless you're having trouble with painful erection or difficulty having an erection.
No, not at all.
You all right?
Otherwise, it's normal to have a certain amount of curve and lean.
That's fine.
Oh, all right, and thanks.
All right, you'll be fine, Jonathan.
Adam?
Yeah.
I think you're a god, man.
Thank you. There you go.
And
you saved his penis.
I mean, what's the other?
What?
All right, Jonathan, just relax.
All right, thanks.
All right.
Some of these questions are incredible.
Oh,
Kid's
please.
16.
That's nothing for this show. He's got bigger fish to fry than that curved penis. It's a speech impediment. Serge?
Yes.
You're 21.
Yes, that's correct.
Are you gay?
Yes, I am.
You almost sound too gay to be gay.
I almost sound too gay to be gay.
Yeah.
You're gay. What's your question?
Is your name really Serge?
No, it's not.
Yeah. Okay.
Of course, I'm not going to use my real name. I'm been with my lover for 2.5 years, and just recently I've been thinking about women while I'm with him.
I see. Yeah.
And I'm just confused on what's going on.
I understand.
You ever been with a woman?
Yes, I have.
Well, how long ago was that?
5 years ago.
And how's your behymen? Is that still intact?
Yes.
It is?
Yes.
Again, Drew, I'm appalled at the gays. Frank, you probably don't know about this. You'd be disturbed if you did.
Go ahead.
Many gay men are not involved in anal sex whatsoever.
Okay.
And to me, that's an outrage. I mean, it's why be gay?
Yeah, exactly.
That's my feeling. Serge?
Yes.
I'm disgusted with the two of you.
Let's take a
You
break
and your
here.
anus.
Let's take a break here.
All right, hold on a second, Serge.
Okay.
All right, we got to take ourselves a break.
Okay.
You'll be here when we get back, though, right?
Yes, I will.
All right. Frank Stallone is our guest tonight. We'll get back with Serge and his pristine anus after this. Yeah.
Great.
Frank Stallone is our guest tonight. I like Frank. He's a regular guy.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
You can just sit and talk to him about everything and nothing.
Exactly.
Dr. Drew is an uptight prude with wants to wave his diploma in your face and has a silver spoon stuck in his mouth, and he wears a monocle now. A lot of people don't.
It is really.
And an ascot, but not Frank Stallone.
No.
He's a regular guy. Sunday nights, WB Movie Stars is the name of the series. You should check that out. You should also check out Full Circle, which is the name of the CD, which you can find on Amazon.com. And when we left off, we were speaking to Serge. Serge is gay. He's been thinking, has been with the same guy for 2.5 years. I think he's starting to think about women now. Serge?
Yes.
Serge, when was it you were with women?
5 years ago.
Yes.
Was that before you really
That was when I was 16.
Oh, I see.
Before you really accepted that you were gay, or did you have a long period of time where you confused?
I was going a little bit of both, just experimenting in high school.
Sure. I couldn't do one sex when I was in high school.
How's your relationship going with this guy?
It's a little rocky.
Yeah. Maybe you think this could be a symptom of just the relationship kind of coming apart?
I really don't think so, because we get along so well.
I just thought you said it was rocky.
Well, at times just because I'm off wandering and thinking of other things, and...
What does that mean?
I'm sorry?
What does that mean?
What are you talking about?
Just because, when we're together, just like any man, I guess, I have a wandering eye.
I see. Who's the guy in the relationship? You?
No, I'm not.
He's the guy?
Yes, he is.
But your behind-man's intact.
Mm-hmm.
Does he see other guys?
Shouldn't he be giving it to you if he's the guy?
He's the receiver.
He's the catcher.
He's the catcher.
And you're the pitcher.
That makes you the guy.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes.
Okay, listen, we got the gay Riddler on the other line. Jesus Christ, Serge. Listen, if you're nailing him in the ass and he's not nailing you, that makes you the guy in the relationship, right?
But he's more manly.
All right, so he's got a little more hair on his ass. You're the one who's out thinking about with the wandering eye. Okay?
True.
All right.
But, like my question was, I'm just concerned...
All right, why are you so confused? What happened to you?
Just my stepsister, and she's sexy, and she just moved in with us a couple months ago, and I don't know.
All right, Serge, listen, this whole thing's a mess. Don't get anyone pregnant. That's number one. Always pull out of his ass, okay? I know there's a biology here that's not going to let him get pregnant, but I don't want to take any chances. You understand? I'm no doctor. I just don't want to take any chances, Serge. You pull out, okay?
Okay, always.
All right, and listen, Serge, seriously, I mean, talk to a therapist, read a book. Don't do so much acting out, but try to get to the bottom of this part in the pun, all right?
Okay.
All right, and don't freak yourself out. Just sort yourself out.
Okay, well, thank you for
there you go. That's good. Don't freak yourself
I'm not sure
out.
I believe that call.
Yeah, he sounds like he's full of crap, doesn't he?
Hey, Drew, I wanted to ask you guys, why do most people in the gay community always say, like, my lover? I mean, I don't hear heteros ever say, my girlfriend or this guy, this. But why did they always say, well, I've been with my lover? Why?
Because I agree with you. It always sounds weird. And it's
like for me to say to you, so where were you last night, Frank? I was with my lover.
Right.
I was with whoever,
Right, but the thing is if they call it their boyfriend, then there's some confusion. Like people think it was a friend of theirs, and they can't get married, so it can't be a husband or wife. They do go partner. The more discreet gays go with the partner, but I think a lot of them like to just sort of gross people out. That's the bottom line. They want to get a rise out of you. It always drives it home. To me, the gay lifestyle is one of the greatest lifestyles in the world until I actually start hearing about the sex, and then I'm repulsed. It's just there's a biology in straight guys that cannot accept that, and I'm perfectly comfortable with mine. I just cannot accept it. I mean, I'm okay with you doing it, but if I see it, I wince. And let me tell you, I got a pretty strong stomach. I eat stuff off the floor all the time. I've seen more pornography than Ron Jeremy has, I swear to Christ. But I see one picture of any kind of gay sex, and I'm repulsed. It is, I wince.
It's an Italian thing.
I cannot look at it. Yeah, it's like I got to turn my head. It's bizarre. It's not even, and I have a sort of morbid curiosity about just about everything, but I see a guy with his schwanz in another guy's ass, and I'm like, oh, no. Hand right in front of I hold the hand in front of my face, I turn my head, no, get away.
So what do you do, like, about a famous actor that was like, hey, and then you found out he was gay? Does it, like, change your persona of him? I mean, if
would
a guy
make-
that you really dug, say if it was like you found out like an actor, you said, man, this is my favorite actor growing up, like Clark Gable.
You trying to say something about your brother?
Oh, no, not him.
Because you could be, you know.
Oh, Christ.
Hey, yo, brother.
No, it would have some impact, but not a ton, and it's probably because I don't really idolize anybody anyway. I just figure these guys have their own
What if
problems.
you found
and
a
their own-
boxer?
I'd respect him more. I'd say, boy, if this guy's gay and kicking ass, I
Emil
respect
Griffith, he killed someone in the ring. He was gay.
Oh, he was?
5-time world champion. Yeah, because Benny Kid Paret called him a maricon before the fight. And I saw it. It was on TV, and he beat him to death.
Wow.
Yeah. But I mean, if it was someone like, great, like Newt Rockney, and you saw him like getting like butt slammed, it'd be like, oh Jesus.
If there was some picture
Abraham Lincoln or
of
something.
Abe Lincoln or the Gipper.
Yeah, the Gip or the Four Horsemen of
or
Motors.
some guy like that giving a BJ.
Oh, Vince Lombardi.
Lombardi was like blowing an assistant coach or
like
something.
Paul Horn, yeah.
It would take a little the luster off of their memory. I'm sure, but I
But
wouldn't.
if you saw him with his wife, it'd freak you out too.
That's true. You're right. Going down on his fat wife, right? Marge, was in her 50s at the time. Rob?
Hey, what's up?
That's a good point, Drew. You're 20. What's up?
Hey, Adam, first of all, I'd like to say I love you, man, but your whole theory on people who are stupid to stop smoking pot and start drinking is scientifically flawed because drinking has been proven to cause brain damage and smoking pot hasn't.
Yeah, but listen.
Actually, there's an article out just now that shows even moderate, it's in the Journal of Addictive Substances, and shows even moderate marijuana exposure and rather remarkable anatomic changes in the brain. It seems to be
Well,
permanent.
listen, here's the deal. It's not going to transform you into an idiot, but it dulls you. Listen, I know guys who drink consistently, and I know guys who smoke weed consistently, and you tell me who's faster on the mark, who's quicker on the draw. It's the guys who drink. It's and not when you're drunk, I'm saying, but when you're sober. That's what I'm saying, Rob.
And the science is catching up with that, Rob. Very,
but
very
anyway,
clearly.
go ahead.
Okay. Anyway, so I'm driving home today, and I get home, and I kind of live out in the middle of nowhere, but there's a house that's being built next door, and I'm hearing like all the screaming and stuff over there, so I sort of creep over there to investigate and whatever, and I'm looking through one of the, by the time I got there, I kind of figured it out as some people having sex, but I look inside one of the windows there, and it was a full moon and everything, and they were just some, teenagers messing around, but I really, really got off on it, and I was just wondering if that was an indication of, some sort of psychological disorder.
No. You're a 20-year-old guy. Somebody was having sex, and you peeked on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the disorder you're concerned about?
Well, it was like a euphoric experience for me. It was like, I had never felt anything like it. It just felt almost too good to be something that was normal.
Well, you had a little adrenaline rush, right?
I guess so, and the thing is that it's not like I have a hard time hooking up with girls or anything,
Yeah, but here's the deal. Have you done much of this in your life?
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. You mean, like, looked at people?
Voyeurism, yeah.
No, this is the first
Because,
time.
listen, if this was a problem, it would have reared its head years ago.
Oh,
Do you feel like you're going to have to do it again?
Yeah, I was thinking about that, and I was like, I would do that again in a
You could be a
second.
late bloomer. Well, you would if someone started humping in the next house and screaming, but listen, I'm 35. I'd go over there. Are you kidding me?
Don't you think guys have a natural curiosity? I mean, if you saw two people like in the woods, like getting on, it could be kind of like
In the woods, in my living room in
Or
North
anywhere.
Hollywood. I
Yeah.
used to be camped out. I had a friend who got a ton of tail, a roommate. He'd be banging away on the sofa bed with one of the legs was broken on the thing. It was a bad sofa bed, so one leg was perpetually like 6 inches above the ground, so it'd be like bang, 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 bang. The downstairs neighbor hated it. This guy'd be going at it. I'd be in the bedroom. I'd be standing in that hall. Hell yes. I had my other roommate too. The wheeze. He was a little guy. He'd poke his head around the doorway. I'd poke my head around the doorway, and we'd be camped out there for hours. Hell yes. It's natural. I could not do it.
Yeah.
No way. If I was 20 and lying in bed and trying to get some sleep, and I hear that telltale third leg on the Murphy bed banging away
yeah,
in the
sure.
next room, I'm there. It's like I act like a dog when he hears a can opener. That's what that sofa was to me. I come running in there.
Pavlov's dog.
Yeah, chuck wagon. Yeah, it's like someone's ringing the dinner bell.
It's a triangle.
It was great. It was like a cartoon. The little guy would his head would come around the corner about 3 feet off the ground, and the tall guy's
It's like
head,
Mutt and Jeff.
come around about 5 feet over there, above the head. And then about once every like 10 minutes or so, the wheeze would look up at me and go, "You're not whacking off, are you?" I go, "No, come on. I have some dignity." He's like, "Okay." He was, he was in a vulnerable spot there. Yeah, those are good times. Heidi?
Yeah?
You're 16.
Yeah.
What's up?
Like, I got my dad left my mom, who's a drug addict,
Right.
and married a woman that he met at church, and her husband committed suicide.
When he heard about this, or was it?
Oh, after.
Wait, I'm confused.
He committed suicide in 98, and they got married in 99.
Right. Did he commit suicide based on them getting together, or is it just coincidence?
No, it was just coincidence.
Okay.
And, I got my stepsister started with drugs, and I have a 13-year-old brother.
All right, well, you got to get him started too, right?
Well, no, we want to figure out, like, how we can get sober without our parents knowing and, like, keep him away from it.
What are you into, speed?
No, like, weed and, like, acid and shrooms.
Wow. It's weird, though, that those have taken hold at 16. I just mean, acid, shrooms especially, and weed when you're just getting started. Not ones that sort of take hold of you as much as, let's say alcohol, cocaine, speed, that kind of stuff. I mean, the fact that you're 16 and talking about getting off, I mean, how much acid are you doing? How much weed are you smoking?
About, like, an ounce a week.
Jeez.
Wow. All right. I stand corrected.
Yeah.
All right.
Just go to MA. Go to a meeting. They can help you.
Without our parents knowing?
Well, listen, you've been doing a ton of drugs, and your parents don't know. You don't think you could sneak out to an MA meeting?
Well, her mom works a lot, and my dad does, too.
You're making our case for us.
Did it work at the MA headquarters?
No.
All right, then, moron. Go over there. What's your point? Our point is you've been doing drugs for quite some time, and they haven't caught on, right?
Yeah.
You can spend a couple hours at a meeting 3-4 days a week, no problem.
You can sneak out to a meeting, and they're not going to catch on.
Right?
Right, yeah.
Right.
All right. Listen, you're a little bit clouded in your thinking, Heidi, because you've been high for too long. But listen to us. We know the truth. Go to the MA meeting. That's all you do, okay?
Okay.
And take it from there.
Okay.
And don't get your little brother high.
Okay.
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 All right.
That's amazing. An ounce a week at 16 years old.
Trying to think, Corey. Yeah, that's a fair amount of weed.
Mm-hmm. And doing acid?
Yeah, I here's the thing, too, is just being 16 is like being high on mushrooms. Mm-hmm. I mean, you think about where your head's at 16. It's like you got 1,000 questions and no answers. Your head's spinning around. You don't know your ass from a hole in the ground. I mean, you know what I mean? And then on top of that, you get high on mushrooms or just get baked every morning before you hit school. I mean, I couldn't imagine what life life would be like. You'd be Alice in Wonderland, and you fell down the cornhole or whatever. What did you fall down?
You know what's amazing? I've met people that it is absolutely incredible. They smoke pot every day. I mean, the first thing you do in the morning is light up a bone. And you look at them, and they function. I mean, I don't know. They drive, and they do everything.
They work. Yeah. They work a computer at work. I don't know.
It catches up eventually. And what's really interesting is that some people, after about a year, they start to burn out and get depressed. Some 20 and 30 years later, it takes that long to catch up, and nobody knows why it takes so long.
No, but I mean, it
always catches up, though. It always does.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like more than alcohol. Like you were just saying, these new studies. I mean, if you were smoking that much weed, there's got to be a residue or something.
There is a residue. There actually is a residue. You look at it, it's on electron micrographs. But the damaging effects have not been shown to be significant in adults yet. It's all in teenagers.
Do they think it could be dementia? I mean, could that be
well, it could be, but it's probably not going to be. Acid and whatnot can cause damage, and the ecstasy.
Well, I remember when I was in high school, the big thing was I never did. These guys used to sniff well wall and glue. And there's a friend of mine that actually basically is a walking... Oh, he's a moron. I mean, I saw him at a class reunion. He's basically almost like on a walker in his 40s.
It's bizarre how people don't understand how delicate the brain is and how they can be changed by these
sniffing glue.
Well, you don't even think of yourself as having a brain when you're a kid. You just think of it as your mind. It's sort of this esoteric thing. You think you see with your eyes, and you talk with your mouth, and you breathe with your nose. Your brain is just something that's sort of like so much cotton candy that's stuffed in between your skull. But you don't really look at it as sort of the nerve center.
These guys would have bags of well wall.
What is well wall?
Well wall is like this incredibly strong glue that they use for baseboards and tiles.
Oh, yeah.
It's 10 times stronger.
Yeah, it's like it's a mastic, basically, right? Put on
and
with
these
a
guys would
trowel.
have bags, and they sit there and go, "Hey, Frank, want a huff?" And these guys would have a bag and going, like take it, and the bag would like deplete. And I'm there, and they says, "Yeah, man, I'm hearing crickets." They would hear like grasshoppers and crickets. I said, "Man, you got some deep issues to deal with."
Hearing grasshoppers,
yeah.
Crickets I used to hear when I did stand-up, but grasshoppers, I don't know. John? John. Hey, caller goes by the name John.
Oh, hey.
There you go. What's there? What's up there, John? You're 18.
I was reading this book called Hemp for Health, and it was telling me like all the stuff about weed, about how it can prevent your eyes getting glaucoma, and like it opens up the pressure so you don't like get tunnel vision. And
the great thing is you don't have glaucoma, John, so it doesn't matter.
well, that's true. That's true. But it also says that it helps your appetite and all this stuff. But what were you saying about like adults not getting brain damage? Or
adults, it's being pretty well proven now that it has damaging effects on teens. But it's permanent.
It's temporary though.
Permanent. But in adults, it's not been proven yet. But what we were saying is there's a characteristic syndrome. If people smoke a lot, that they do get depressed and they do have problems functioning and whatnot. It's absolutely characteristic of it.
Is the depression permanent, or is that something?
No, that's transient.
Okay, so it's just why you're getting off of it.
Usually, as it starts sort of wearing off, you no longer get high from it. Then you start getting depressed, and then when you come off it, you get really depressed, and that goes away usually within 6 to 8 months.
All right.
Yeah, all right.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
Listen to me.
Oh, hey.
You know, I'm a god and a genius.
A god and a genius.
I'm not one of those moron gods you hear so much about.
Whatever.
Now listen to me.
Yeah.
I hear this night after night. I have a lot of friends that are into this. I'm an atheist. I'm not uptight. I don't like the man. And I smoke weed. I certainly will smoke weed. I was baked off my ass last Saturday night.
You want to smoke with me sometime?
All right.
All right.
All right, we'll make a date.
All right.
Here's my point. Here's my point. I drink sometimes, too. And sometimes I ate myself a nice big corned beef sandwich the other day. I do a lot of stuff that ain't great, but I don't do that much of it. That's the thing.
Yeah,
and don't kid yourself. I know you stoners. I know what you love to do. You spend all your goddamn time on the internet trying to justify what essentially is an addiction. Okay? It's not bad for me. It's not addicting.
No, it's good for me.
It's good for me, and I'm not addicted, except for it's 3:30 in the morning, and I'm driving to a park to score. You're not addicted, but you're at a park risking your life, essentially, trying to score $10 worth of weed, and you just got done scraping the hell out of your bong with a open coat hanger, trying to catch a little resin high, but you're not addicted. Listen to me. You are addicted, and stop worrying about whether it's good for you or bad for you. It's like anything. It ain't going to kill you, but that don't make it good for you. And corn dogs ain't good for you, but if you ate 10 of them every day, something bad would happen to you eventually. I'm no scientist. I think you would turn into a corn dog. Is that right, Drew?
How'd you know that?
I know.
You're a genius.
I'm a genius. That's right. So don't kid yourself. You want to smoke a little weed once in a while? Fine. But if you're going to smoke all the time, it's going to affect you.
I would have said that too, but now this studies I was looking at about teenagers, it looks like even, you got to be over 18, 19.
All right, don't do anything before you're 18.
Yeah,
your brain...
cement's got to be dry.
Your brain
why would a teenager, if it was just smoking for a few years, affect them more than someone that's been smoking 30 years?
Because the brain is still growing.
Oh, I see.
And it clearly is a different instrument at that point. And I can tell you, having dealt with teenage addicts, it's just a totally different disease at that age too. I mean, they can stop stuff. They can stop heroin.
I mean, it's
teenagers.
Well, look at it this way. You got a little window in your life to learn the piano, to learn the cello, to learn a foreign language.
Yeah.
You got that little window in there. That window slams shut about 18. I mean, let's face it. You ain't going to be fluent in French if you don't start before you're 20, and you're not going to play the cello like some Yo-Yo Ma Thank you. Say I wasn't smoking weed, I would have got Yo-Yo's name right out of there. You're not going to play like Yo-Yo unless you start when you're 6.
Yeah.
And that's what the brain is at. And if you're blowing smoke on it at that age, it's not good for it. Amber,
Yeah.
you're 17.
Yeah.
What's up?
Well, I had sex with my boyfriend, and we were both on acid, and I'm on Estrostep, the pill. And I was just wondering if that would affect it in any way, because we didn't use a condom.
The birth control pill? Well,
Yeah.
it's an interesting question. I don't know that it would. Almost anything can. It shouldn't.
Because
Okay?
I'm also a day late. It's not that big of a deal. But
Yeah, it shouldn't.
Yeah. And a dollar short?
But it's interesting. It's an interesting question. Almost anything can.
How bizarre was that, having sex high on acid?
Yeah, it was my first time. So
Your first time you had sex?
No, first time I had acid.
No, first time you had acid.
Yeah.
And you were getting it on.
Yeah.
Jeez, isn't sex bizarre enough at 17? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, did his penis melt or anything good? You didn't see a trail behind his ass?
No.
Okay, I understand. Listen, I see scrotum stone cold sober. I freak out and go running out of the room. Imagine being high and looking at a guy's nuts.
Dartos tunic.
Yeah, go insane.
Well, I didn't really know what was happening.
Talk about a bad trip.
I think it's like a mollusk or something.
Yeah, I think it was going
an
to
octopus.
Yeah, something's going to get eaten, I'd figure. Hey, Amber? All right, don't do any more acid.
Please.
It's not great for your brain. Let your brain dry. Let the cement in your brain dry, all right?
Okay.
All right, there you go. All right. And listen, if your period doesn't come, then you got to go have a test, right?
Test, all right?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
All right. All right. Frank Stallone's our guest. Movie Stars, the name of the series. WB, Sunday nights, 9 o'clock. We're going to take ourselves a little break. When we come back, who are we going to speak to, Drew? Yeah. Talk to Emma, 13. Never had a period. Is it still because she masturbates too much? Oh, boy. 13. After this. It's Loveline. I'm Adam Carolla. That is Dr. Drew over there. Frank Stallone is our guest tonight. Movie Stars is the name of the series. WB, 9 o'clock, Sunday night. And also Full Circle, the name of the CD, which is out. And you can find it at Amazon.com there.
Nice.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Let's hop back on the phones and speak to Emma. Emma's never had a period and wants to know if it's because she masturbates too much. Emma, I don't know for sure, but I've never had a period and I masturbate excessively, so there could be some connection
correlation.
here.
Oh, yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, I just wanted to know, I masturbate about 4 times a week or more, or like up to probably 7, because I don't masturbate actually that much. But I've never had my period, and
Do you have an orgasm when you masturbate?
I don't know. I think so.
All right. Listen, what the hell's become of my life? I'm talking to 13-year-olds about orgasms. Drew.
Questioning whether they've had one yet.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I don't know. Okay. Well, maybe you haven't. Why? Well, if you don't know, though, why are you masturbating so much?
Because it feels good.
Uh-huh. Anything ever happened to you growing up?
Not really.
Not really? Like what? Anything?
Like 4 years ago, my dad ran away, but...
ran away?
Because, well, he was my stepdad, and he was, like, alcoholic, so...
Well, where's your real dad?
He visits me. I go and visit him at his house every Thursday and Friday.
You go visit him. How's he doing?
He's good.
And stepdad, alcoholic stepdad?
Yeah.
You sure real dad's not an alcoholic?
I'm sure.
Ooh. And was he an alcoholic?
No.
Doesn't make sense. Mom got rid of him and married an alcoholic?
Well, they never got married.
Stepdad and mom never got married?
No. I mean, my biological father and my mom never got married, and then she married my...
Where are we going?
I'm just trying to figure out what's going on here. All right, so he ran away. Did he come back?
No.
Okay, good.
It's been 4 years.
All right, stop diddling yourself so much, especially if you're not having an orgasm. Listen, if I didn't have an orgasm, I'd probably be down to 5 times a week. Emma? Drew, you're a doctor. Start paying attention. Well, Drew was signing... Oh, I see what was happening. Drew was signing a bunch of autographs during that.
I was listening to her.
Yeah, you were listening real good. Where are we going here? as he's signing and not paying attention.
Where are we going? That's the point.
Well, she's 13. Would you tell her whether she should have a period or not? Don't give me that puss.
Not
13.
She will have one. It has nothing to do with the masturbation whatsoever.
I know. Why don't you tell her that? Because you're too busy doing your stuff.
I've told
you
her.
can't wait till a commercial, can you, Drew?
Impossible.
Can't wait. I know.
Can't do it.
Drew's so addicted. All right, Emma?
Yeah.
You're fine.
Okay.
Okay. When by 13, though, here's what you're supposed to do, Drew. Let me
By
explain your
13,
job.
many
Yes.
women will have begun their periods, but she's asking, is there an association between that and masturbating? Of course, there's none.
I know, but what percentage of women have begun their period by 13? 80%?
Probably 60, 70%, I would bet.
Something like that. All right, so she just may be in that percentile that hasn't. Fine. Thank your lucky stars. Kevin?
Yep.
You're 18.
Yes, I am.
What's up?
Me and my girlfriend have been having sex for probably a month now, and we got to the point where we'd start having sex without a condom, and then we'd stop and put one on, and then continue. But
Nice.
then when we start having sex again, it burns her, like, really bad.
When you start again?
Yeah.
Is she allergic to latex?
Before we started having sex without a condom, it never bothered her before.
Why don't you try the polyurethane or the animal
Didn't you
skin?
just ask that?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey,
Or KY or something.
Hey, Kevin?
Yeah.
See, Drew asked if she was allergic to latex.
Uh-huh.
And your answer was before she put the condom on.
She was fine.
She was fine. So you're saying maybe she is, right?
Yeah, and she starts bleeding and stuff.
But it seems to me there'd be a lubrication factor here. It's like you have sex, then you pull out, you go get the condom on. There's a little added friction with that condom, and then maybe she dries up a little bit, and then you just jump right back in, right?
Well, we'll slowly start.
Right, but it seems to me there might be a little lubrication thing.
Mm-hmm, they're lubricated
It's like playing the first half of a basketball game barefoot and then putting your sneakers on for the second half. It's weird. Hi, Kevin, you're quite a genius.
You
with
could
that
try
plan.
polyurethane. You could try animal skin if you guys are not worrying about
Listen,
STDs.
try putting the condom on at the beginning and getting yourself a nice palm of axle grease going there before you get in there. All right?
Non-petroleum-based axle grease.
That's right. Whatever it takes. Listen, that's a euphemism for
Why
KY
would you
or whatever.
start and then all of a sudden, like you're just saying, just a minute piece of discharge can just get her pregnant?
And
so
everyone has that discharge. So everyone has that.
Not me.
And you might not even you wouldn't
be aware of it.
No, I know
Yeah.
it.
So
Sorry,
it could
guys.
be just minuscule.
Everybody,
And that could get her girl
It's actually,
pregnant.
it's some people believe that in certain studies it's shown that little discharge
Is more potent.
that pretty much all men except Adam have.
That's right.
Is highly concentrated in sperm.
Let me tell you something. I could get an erection. I could go at myself for a half an hour, and then you could take a small piece of tissue like you'd use
a
to...
slide, a glass slide.
No, you could take a piece of tissue like you'd use to stop bleeding on a nick from shaving, put it at the end of my urethra, and it would flutter down to the floor until I had my orgasm.
Now, what do you think would happen if you put a septic pencil in there?
A styptic pencil in there? I'd probably take a swing at you. Yeah, that'd be painful.
That would be rude.
Wow.
By the way.
Drew, could you imagine?
Ow.
Those are, by the way, though, one of the most effective inventions ever, those styptic pencils.
Oh,
those little
man.
salt pencils that stop the bleeding. As I tell you, I'll get a nick shaving, that thing will be bleeding for 18 months to a year.
I know.
It's disgusting. Why does your head bleed so much, Drew? What's up with that?
Your face or your head?
Your face. Yeah. It's scary.
They said people used to die from the fear of the procedure when you had, in the old days of syphilis or something, when they have to take a catheter and go right down your penis with it. They said it's almost like rabies. People die rabies because the medicine was like 13 or 18 needles that would go right through your stomach like that long for rabies test.
Drew, what is that? You don't hear about the rabies so much anymore. When I was a kid, that's all I heard about. Rabies.
Don't touch that squirrel.
You get rabies, you'll have to get 150 shots and needles as long as a sprinkler key.
It doesn't work like that anymore.
No? Yeah. Why can't kids suffer like we did? Mike?
Oh, hey.
See, the dentists still make them suffer.
That's right.
Mike, yeah, it's great. I loved about the dentist. Every single time I go to the dentist, I go, why isn't there any kind of breakthrough? And they go, breakthrough? Are you kidding me? They now have lasers that work in place of drills. I go, fine, get it out. Oh, we don't have one. Okay, fine then. They never have it. They just like to brag about it's on a drawing
We
board
can put
somewhere.
toggle bolts in your gums to put new teeth in. All kinds of
And the
stuff.
dentist still hurt now.
I know.
Go get my wisdom teeth taken out this Thursday.
Oh.
Well, can I give you a hint on that? I had 4 taken out at once, impacted
we gotta
wisdom
go
teeth.
get all 4 taken out this
Believe me, trust me on this, my friend. Make sure you are out.
Oh, yeah.
Don't even say, hey, I'll take it like a man, because
No
your
way.
face is going to look like you swallowed the Sea of China.
No way.
I told them to make sure I was gone.
Yeah, make sure you're way out.
Hey, Mike, what's your question?
Me and my girlfriend have been going out for a long while now, and about 2 months ago I cheated on her, and I lost her trust pretty bad, but she managed to take me back after about a month, and I lost her trust, and I'm trying to find a way to get it back.
Well, she took you back, right?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that a sign that she's trusting something?
Yeah, she is, but
She's just beating you up about it for the meantime, that's all.
Yeah, that's all right.
You deserve it.
Yeah, how'd you find out you cheated?
Oh, I told her.
Oh, what's up with that strategy?
That was the first mistake.
Yeah, what kind of thinking is that? Huh?
Because I couldn't live with myself like that. I had to tell her.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't understand that instinct. I couldn't live with getting my ass kicked around by a woman for any real length of time.
Like, back in the beginning of high school, I used to cheat a lot, and, like, it wouldn't bother me. But this time, I really care about her, so I had to...
Yeah, I understand, but see, here's my strategy. I really care about someone. I had an indiscretion. I'm never going to do it again, and I'm going to make it up to them. But I'm not going to crush them by telling them about it. And I got to be honest. If I had a girlfriend who had some business in New York for a couple of days, had a few cocktails, hopped on some guy, and she wanted to come back and just be extra guilty and extra extra sexual and extra, cook a few meals or whatever, I'd be happy with that. I wouldn't
you
want to know about it.
Would
No,
you I wouldn't want to.
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
What
Why?
do you think, Doc?
What's in it for you?
Yeah, but you wonder if this guy is trying to sabotage something.
You do. Now, listen, if we're talking about an ongoing affair, I'd want to know about it. But if she went out with a couple of her girlfriends, had a few cocktails, and hooked up with some guy while she was out of town, and then wanted to come back and be extra guilty, I'd be fine. I wouldn't even know it, wouldn't care, be happy about it. And, unless I smelled some foreign penis. Then that's something else. Yeah, I can sniff that out. All right, we're gonna take ourselves a little break. Well, first, we're gonna say hi to Candace. Candace, you're 14.
Yeah.
Hey, your mom told you she was molested.
No, I was.
But you don't remember it?
No, I was a long time ago when I was like in preschool.
Yeah.
And she told me, I don't know, we were talking about something, and she told me, and I just want to know, because I listen all the time, and there's girls that are, like, so messed up because this happened to them, and I want to know if it will, like, affect me, even though I don't remember it.
What was the molestation? What kind of molestation?
Well, I guess some, like, lady, because it was the preschool I went to, some lady that worked there, like, touched me or something down there. Or
Doesn't seem like a...
That may not be a big deal.
Hold on a second there, Candace. It doesn't seem like a great strategy by mom to tell the kid, hey, you're 14. I know you got a lot on your mind. Here's something else to add to that. That's like my dad pulled that crap. He told me I was born a woman and I had some surgery that I can't remember, around 6 months. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's rough,
that's
right?
Tough, yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. Gets you thinking, Gets you wondering.
Nice, Dad.
Does answer a few questions, though, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Oh, quite a few.
But what about the hairy ass?
Apparently that's a graft.
Oh.
My uncle Lou had a lot of hair on his backside. They were able to graft it. It was a move that didn't pay off.
Cosmetic miracle.
The doctors didn't. They wanted to do such a great job of me being a man. They actually went a little overboard on the
I thought
ass.
they used some sort of like animal pelt or something. No.
They did. They used
raccoon skin.
It was a beaver pelt. Original
Navajo blanket or something.
That's right. We'll take ourselves a little break. Frank Stallone is our guest, and we'll get back with Candace and her molestation mom after this. Yep. Hey, it's Loveline. I'm Adam Carolla. He is Dr. Drew over there. Frank Stallone is our guest tonight. Movie Stars is the name of the show. Sunday nights, WB, 9 o'clock. Also, Full Circle, the CD. Out on Amazon.com. And again, Goo Goo Dolls and Save Ferris in the studio later on this week. So, well, where's your brother Sly live? Is he?
He's back out here. He was living in Florida for a while, and then what the old saying is, out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, so he's
back here. Yeah. So
yeah, he had like a big compound.
it was huge. The home was like 27,000 square feet. It was an old home that my father just wanted him to get as an investment. He ended up putting so much money. It had a wine cellar that was the size of someone's house. It was very old, and it was cold in there. So we used to go in there and with these big fur like mountain coats and sit there, just the guys with a hunk of cheese, like Vikings, and just sit there and get ripped.
Oh, that sounds great.
Oh, with chilled vodka and thousands of bottles. You'd never leave there. It would have been like one of the, like Robert Mitchum or someone would have loved, or Lee Marvin would have never left the place. But it was great, and I spent most of my time fishing. The fishing was like, on his pier was like nonstop. I'd catch like 30, 40 mangrove snappers a day.
Wow. What a dream. Fishing off your own land.
Yeah.
You're like an Indian, except for you have satellite TV and big screen.
And Madonna is your neighbor. It's like,
yeah. Oh, my God.
I got to tell you something, man. I don't dig Florida. My father lives down there. That's maybe why he had the kid, the heat or something, the humidity. But Florida, I was there in the late 60s and 70s in Coconut Grove when it was kind of, hey, wow, daddy, art. I just think it's a jive city. I like some of the people there, but it reminds me of like Vegas or Palm Springs.
Well, if people don't realize about Florida, it's south. It's white trash. It's a Waffle Hut.
Waffle House.
Waffle House every 15 feet.
And everything is fried. Ice cream, chicken fried.
It's weird. You always think of the Carolinas and places like that, but you don't think of Florida. But you go to Florida, and there's a few hot spots in there, but in between is a lot of the South, a lot of rednecks.
You get outside of Miami, getting Chattahoochee, and them guys talking. It's deliverance time.
That's right.
It's dueling banjos.
That's right. Banjos and waffles.
Dueling waffles.
I think they like a banjo because it really looks the most like a waffle of any instrument. It's got that big round white bass, You think about it, like a cello or violin doesn't look anything like a waffle. I think they
a tambourine they play is a waffle.
Actually, they ate the tambourine.
Yeah, they ate
that they ate.
And spoons, which they probably give themselves.
Actually, the band looks like a waffle maker.
Yeah. Well, whatever. Just as long as it's in the waffle family.
And they play the spoons
Chip.
there.
Caller who goes by Chip.
Chip, you're 25.
Buenos nachos, amigos.
What's up?
Well, I was just hearing you guys talk about the South, and I did a lot of karaoke bar and Waffle House hopping over there in Charlotte, so I know what you guys are talking about. I just had a couple quick questions. The first one would be, I was having sexual relations with a girl last year, and she turned up, pregnant, and she was told by doctors that it was almost impossible for her. She was barren, and that she would never be, she could never get pregnant. But then she ended up turning pregnant. It was about a few weeks after I had sex with her.
Yeah.
And she was very elusive as far as confronting me about it, and she claimed to me that she had she was having a sexual relationship with another man prior to me about a couple of weeks, so there's like a week gap there. And I was just wondering what she's supposed to be doing anytime like this year, and if the father, the guy she's living with now, he's accepting responsibility for the baby.
All right, good.
And so I was just curious if maybe you or Drew knew that if that individual signs
the
birth certificate.
Listen, hey, Chip, here's how you know if it's your kid. If he's super boring
and long-winded
and can't get to his goddamn question, he's probably one of yours. Oh, for Christ's sake. I don't know. Listen, if the guy signs the birth certificate and he raises the child as if it was his own, fine. Done. Don't think about it anymore. I don't know. I don't think he wants to have a DNA test or anything.
Is she after him? Is she after him?
I don't know. I'm scared to go back to him. Chip?
Yeah, Adam.
Is she coming after you?
Well, I haven't received the summons yet, so I don't...
You haven't. All right, good.
Wouldn't the correct answer then, Chip, be no?
Okay, well...
Yeah, but that didn't have enough syllables in it. He likes to... Yeah, it's like...
He was going to go on for another 5 minutes. response to that?
Well, it's like, yes, either someone is coming after you or they're not.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, well, I am blah, 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 blah. Here's the deal.
Too many
Chip.
Waffle Houses.
I rarely say this, but just wait. Cross this bridge when you come to it.
You have to.
If some marshals come to the door, you get subpoenaed, what have you, she contacts you, then call us back. All right, we're going to now speak to Angela, who's 17. Angela? What's up?
What's up? Okay, my question is, first I'll tell you that when I was about 12, I started drinking alcohol, like socializing, and for about 6 months probably, it was just basically every other weekend, partying with my friends. And then it got kind of like once...
We got another chip on our hands here.
What?
You're a chip off the old chip. Okay. Blah, 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 blah.
Well, basically, I've had... Okay, it gradually went into like 3 days a week. I was drinking.
What's your question? What's the question? We got the picture.
Listen, I'm gonna need a shot after this.
Okay. I'll wrap it up.
We're so brutal. Look, what's your job? Brutalize tormented teenagers.
Well, anyways, I saw a shrink for about a year when I was about 14.
Just state the question now. We'll tell you what historical details we need.
Well, lately, I've been, like, the thought of alcohol, like, has been making me, like, want it a lot.
Of course, and that's what the problem is with alcoholism, is that it's not about stopping, it's about staying stopped. And once you've triggered the reward systems in the brain to anticipate a certain level of reward, any sorts of triggers or stimuli or need for escape will reignite these very powerful drives. And the drives are basically a hijacking of the survival system of the brain. It's actually that part of the brain that's responsible for the drive for survival that now gets hijacked by these chemicals in genetically prone individuals and intensified. So it's a survival mechanism that's actually more intense than what would occur in nature and directed at substances.
All right, so AA, right?
Yep.
There you go. Becky?
Yeah.
And don't go to Sylvester Stallone's basement in Florida. You'll never come out of that place.
That's right.
You're all hopped up on cheese and vodka.
Well, just talking about Angela almost went out.
Jesus Christ. I just thought about that block of cheese and all that wine in that big basement with the big raccoon coat on. I really started getting wood.
It was the best.
This is
the best.
What a time.
And the pool,
fishing.
and the pool room was brought over from like the 19th century, a whole old room.
Oh.
And a pool table. It was like the guys' hangout of all time.
Oh, my God.
And we'd have like 20 guys.
He's getting rid of that house?
He got rid of it. He sold it.
What did he sell it for? Just for fun?
I think it was $27 million.
Jesus.
Who bought it? Who can buy a house like that?
Probably Aknad.
Aknad the Arab?
Yeah. Yeah, this would be good summer home for me, my friend. Yeah, one of those type things, yeah.
Oh, my God.
I mean, I don't know who could buy it. I mean,
I don't know.
A guy like Bill Gates could sit there and write, well, a few weeks ago, could just sit there and write a check.
Well, he could sell it.
Still do.
Well, I mean,
in 2 seconds.
Does he get another million because it was his house?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, does he get a few more million because it was his house?
It could be, and the thing was, he paid like $6 for it, and the property was huge. It was part of the John Deere estate, John Deere tractor,
right?
And it was the Vizcaya Castle property. It was bought to be a place. Investment-wise, it was incredible. To fix the house up, but
was it actually the Vizcaya Palace?
Part of it. It was his it was his niece's place. But the property was incredible. But he put so much money. He just went into a rampage on it. It had elevators, and it was just huge, and it was just too big. And it was just. I mean, it had elevators. It was like. I mean, the guest house was big as most people's home. I mean. But the property, you needed a golf cart to get across the property.
But please tell me your brother's still miserable like us.
They're never had.
Okay, good.
I'm sitting there doing a sitcom. He's there. Yeah, I haven't been on. I said, so what? You do one movie, you can retire forever. You never. We're sitting here like
Never
doing
happy.
like. Yeah.
Good. I'm glad. Becky.
Yeah.
You're 18. We're out of show.
Hi.
You're verbally abused.
No, he's verbally abusive to her boyfriend. She can't stop.
You are?
Stop.
Yeah. And I don't know what to do.
All right, you start chewing taffy.
What?
Just stop it. You know you're doing it.
I know.
When
but
you start doing it, stop.
You have to be willing to change. And that change can be painful to admit that you're doing something that makes you feel a little ashamed. Of Just change. Go ahead.
And by the way, everyone, do not announce in front of God and everyone that you can't stop something when you can, because that gives you an out if you really think about it. I don't want to sound too self-righteous here, but here's the deal. If you're announcing everyone, hey, I'm doing this and I can't stop, that's your out. Say, I choose not to stop, or I'm not stopping, but I'd like to, and do it. All right, we'll take a break.
They're like clubs.
Hey, all right, that is it. Frank, don't bother putting those on. We're done with the show. I want to Frank Stallone.
This was terrific. I thank you so much for having me on.
Give him a big plug. Come on now.
Watch you guys on TV.
Sunday night, Movie Stars, WB, 9 o'clock, and Full Circle.
And the play? In the CD or the album?
Full Circle, which is, thank you, Drew, is the name of the CD, which you can find on Amazon.com. Go out and support our friends. And thanks, Frank.
Well, thank you, guys. It was a great experience.
Nice to meet you. And until next time, it's Adam Carolla for Dr. Drew saying mahalo. Save me, darling. I am down, but I am far from over. Boom, 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 cha, cha. Yeah.
Well, now.
This has been Loveline. The stuff expressed on Loveline is not necessarily the stuff of the staff, management, sponsors, or anyone else, including Westwood One Entertainment. Loveline is produced by Ann Wilkins Ingold. Now, please enjoy these birds.